Hi, I'm Emily with the University of Mary. Today I'm going to be doing a cranial nerve assessment. I have Sarah here who is going to participate in that for us. Before getting started with any kind of an assessment or any kind of contact with patients or clients, it's important to use proper hand hygiene. So I do have hand sanitizer here, which I will apply. If I were closer to a sink, I would use soap and water, but this is also appropriate. So now that that is done, I'm going to start with cranial nerve number 1, which is the olfactory nerve. Sarah, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, please. Can you please occlude one nostril? I'm going to ask you to take a big breath in your nose. Okay. Let's switch nostrils. Can you tell me what you smelled today, Sarah?
Lavender oil.
That is exactly correct. She was able to smell lavender oil, which is what I used, essential oil. So she did very well on that. We're asking people to smell to see if they have maybe any kind of problems with their nostrils, but she did well with that today. Next, we're going to check the optic nerve, which is cranial nerve number 2. And I am going to ask Sarah, do you usually use any kind of reading glasses, or contacts?
I have glasses that I don't need.
You have glasses you don't need. Okay. I'm going to give Sarah a book. I'm going to have you hold this, Sarah, please. And then I'm going to measure, we're supposed to be about 14 inches away. So I'm going to measure about 14 inches from her eye or head to the book. So we're right about there. Can you please occlude one eye for me? And can you read the title of the book?
Life in Love with the World's Worst Dog, Marley and Me.
Okay. Can you switch eyes and do it with the other one?
Life in Love with the World's Worst Dog, Marley and Me.
Perfect. And now with both.
Life in Love with the World's Worst Dog, Marley and Me.
Wonderful. So Sarah was able to read the title of the book with ease at 14 inches away, which is an appropriate finding and exactly what we were hoping for. So that went well. Nerve number 3 is the ocular motor. I'm going to be testing this, checking her pupils for dilation, constriction, accommodation. I'm going to be using a pen light today. Sarah, I'm going to have you just look straight forward. I'm going to flash this on the sides. Good. Good. Next, for accommodation, I'm just going to have you look at the tip of this and follow it. Wonderful. So during the ocular motor test, what we're looking for is when the pen light goes at the side of the eyes for constriction of the pupils, which is exactly what was demonstrated with Sarah. And then accommodation is when the object is near her pupils are constricted. When it goes further away, they are dilated. Sarah also demonstrated that today. Next, we're going to move on to cranial nerve number 4, which is the trochlear nerve. To do this, we're going to make sure that we are 12 inches away. Should be right around here. And I am going to ask Sarah to follow the tip of this pen with her eyes and her eyes only, please, Sarah. Wonderful. Sarah was able to demonstrate that she could follow an object or the tip of this pen with her eyes from side to side, up and down, and diagonally with ease. Didn't see any rigidity or any problems with that. So we are going to move on to nerve number 5, which is the trigeminal. I am going to have you look up, and we are going to be checking for the corneal reflex, and we're going to see that with blinking. So I'm going to have you look up, Sarah, and I don't like touching eyeballs, so I'm just going to use a little bit of this cotton swab. And let me see here. Okay. And touching that cornea area, is showing, or the sclera, I'm sorry, is showing us that she has a positive corneal reflex with the blinking. Next, we're going to do some touching. I'm going to do some touching of the face, Sarah, if that's okay with you. I'm going to have you close your eyes, and I'm going to touch your face a few times here. The forehead, the cheek, and the jawline. I'm going to use something for each one of these. So, just going to touch, swab, swab. Sarah, can you tell me what you felt there?
Oh, light.
Light touch.
Sweep.
A light sweep is exactly what would be the normal finding because I used a cotton swab. I'm going to do the same thing using a different object here, Sarah. You're going to tell me what you feel when I'm done. Okay.
Harder.
Harder. Harder than the first?
Yeah.
Okay. And that should be an appropriate finding as I used the end of a pen here to do that. And that would be the difference between light touch and deep touch. Next, I'm going to also test a couple of the senses. Do this, Sarah. Keep your eyes closed, please. I'm going to touch your forehead, your cheek, and your jawline with something. Can you tell me what that felt like?
Definitely cold.
Cold. Perfect. That's exactly what you should have expected to feel. We're going to do this again, one last time. What did you feel that time, Sarah?
Warm, hot.
Warm or hot? Again, appropriate findings on Sarah here. She was able to distinguish between light touch, deep touch, hot and cold. Next, we're going to move on to cranial nerve number 6, which is abducens. I'm going to hold an object about 12 inches away from Sarah's face. Again, using just my little tape measure to make sure that we're doing it appropriately. Right here. And Sarah, you can go ahead and open your eyes. I'm going to ask you, again, to just follow the tip of this pen with your eyes and your eyes only. And I'm going to be using the H kind of standard here. Side, up. Wonderful. Sarah was able to demonstrate that as well with ease. Didn't see any difficulty or rigidity in her eyes while they were moving and following my pen, which was great. Don't think it seemed to cause any pain or difficulty to her. So next we're going to go on to the facial nerve, which is nerve number 7. Sarah, can you please smile for me? Perfect. Can you raise your eyebrows? Wonderful. I'm going to have you puff out your cheeks for me, and then I'm going to kind of, wonderful. And then next, keep your eyes closed, and I'm going to try to, great, push up on them, which I wasn't able to open them. Again, Sarah demonstrated this with ease. It didn't have any difficulty. She was able to keep her eyes closed as I was trying to push up on them. When I puffed her cheeks in, or had her release that air by pushing on her cheeks, air came out equally bilaterally and didn't have any problems with that. Next on that, also we're going to do 4 different tastes. Sarah, I'm going to have you keep your eyes closed. I'm going to put swabs in your mouth. So I will have you have your mouth open during this. And I'm going to ask you what you're tasting as I do this. What do you taste? You should either taste sour, bitter, sweet, or salty.
Sour.
Sour, okay. All right, let's do this one.
Maybe that was sour.
Bitter?
Bitter.
Bitter, okay.
Oh.
Should be. It was vinegar, so that
Vinegar.
probably wasn't great. Next, I'll have to get you something to drink after this.
Salty for sure.
Salty. Wonderful. And the last one we are going to do here Sweet with sugar.
Sugar.
Perfect. So during that, Sarah was able to demonstrate that she can distinguish the difference between sour, bitter, sweet, and salty, which is exactly the appropriate findings and the findings we're hoping for. Again, she was able to do the rest of that with ease when we were talking about the facial nerve. Next, we're going to go on to the, I have a hard time saying this one, vestibular cochlear nerve, which is nerve number 8. I'm going to have Sarah close her eyes when she. Oh, did you need a little drink after that sweet, salty?
I'm good.
Okay. I'm going to have you close your eyes. Please occlude one ear. And I'm going to come in on the other side with an object about 2 centimeters away and ask Sarah if she can hear something.
Taking up.
Okay. Let's do it on the other side. Please occlude that ear. Again, you're about 2 centimeters away.
Taking.
Perfect. Okay. That's normal findings there too. We should have, she heard ticking of a clock by a little hand watch, which was normal. Next, we're going to check your gait, Sarah. Can you please stand? And then just do a nice walk from one end to the other of the room here. And when you're done, feel free to sit back down for me, please. Wonderful. Watching Sarah, she was able to walk across the room with ease. Her gait was normal. Her posture was appropriate. She was able to get up out of her chair without help and be able to sit back down again without help. So all of those are normal findings. The next, Sarah, I'm going to do cranial nerve assessment number 9, which is the glossopharyngeal. I'm going to open this tongue depressor, and I'm going, after it's open, I'm going to ask you to stick out your tongue and say ah. Just a moment here. You're going to kind of stand up behind here in front of you. Tongue out. Perfect. Next, this might be a little uncomfortable, but I'm going to put this further back in your throat and check for a gag reflex. Okay, that's all right. And then last thing on this one, Sarah, why don't you, since we just went through that, take a sip of your juice and swallow for me. Be able to swallow with ease and no difficulty?
No difficulty.
Wonderful. So during that cranial nerve assessment, what I was looking for when I put the tongue depressor in Sarah's mouth is for her uvula to raise, which it did, which is normal finding. And then also she was able to swallow with ease, no difficulty. It didn't look like she had difficulty with that at all. And she did have a positive gag reflex. So next we're going to move on to cranial nerve number 10, which is the vagus nerve. During this assessment, you're going to just hear Sarah and I talk, and then I'll tell you what abnormal findings would be afterwards. So, Sarah, what did you do today?
I worked. I had lunch. I went home.
What do you plan on doing after this?
Maybe walk a puppy.
Walk a puppy. Awesome.
Go to a barbecue.
Good. All right. So for the vagus nerve assessment, what you're looking for is just normal speech and communication without any hoarseness, which Sarah is able to demonstrate. Also with the vagus nerve assessment, you should be assessing for difficulty of swallowing. We just did that one with the pharyngeal, the glossopharyngeal nerve, so I didn't feel like it was necessary to repeat it, so because we know that was normal. The next one is going to be the accessory nerve. Sarah, I'm going to stand in front of you, and I'm going to place my hands on your shoulders and put just a small bit of resistance. Please shrug your shoulders up. Okay, perfect. I am now going to place a hand on the side of your face, and I'm going to ask you to just kind of try to tilt your, yep, perfect. That's the small bit of resistance there. Sarah was able to shrug her shoulders up and down appropriately, easily with the resistance of my hands. Didn't seem like she had any pain during this or anything. She was also able to move her head back and forth with slight resistance of my hand on her face. Again, did that with ease, normal movements, no problems there. last but not least, we're going to talk about cranial nerve number 12, which is the hypoglossal nerve. This is kind of a goofy one, Sarah. I know we all feel goofy when we do this, but I'm going to ask you to stick your tongue out for me and move your tongue up and down and side to side. I know we feel kind of goofy when we do that. While watching Sarah do that, she was able to do that easily. Move her tongue up and down, side to side with ease, normal motions. Didn't have any difficulty with it. So I think that concludes the end of the cranial nerve assessment today. Thank you, Sarah, for joining me and helping me with this assignment.
Thank you.
Thank you.